I finished my bath, and as much as you guys think, oh, this is like a curly hair, this is a curly hair routine. Okay, I thought that was fine. As much as you guys might think, oh, this is a curly hair routine. Okay, I promise you I'm not naked. Let's revise A level with me. Yep. So, guys, A level is serious. Because I'll be revising in the bath. So, Henry VII, we're going to start with the North. So there was the tax revolt in Yorkshire. Well, I'm trying my face. There was a tax revolt in Yorkshire, and Henry Percy, yeah, he got killed. And then he became lieutenant of the North. Well, I'll tell you, it was Thomas Howard. And we're going to visit him again in just a bit, because he actually has an interesting lore behind him. Well, let me tell. So, Thomas Howard, he's lieutenant of the North until he dies or something, I don't know. You guys tell me. Next, we're going to talk about Wales. So what's the thing with Wales? Why is Wales a risky place? Well, here's the thing with Wales. It has an interesting law. If you commit a crime in one place, you can just skip town to the next, and you're not going to be held responsible for that crime. It's a low-key life hack. And that's why it's a risky place, because low-key people can be committing crime in skipping town. Plus, here's the thing. Henry VII's upbringing, he came from Pembroke, Wales, which he retained an army to go against Richard III. So Henry VII, he knows. He's been knowing the risk of Wales pose. That's why he doesn't like Wales. And also, there was a revolt near Wales. No, it's not Yorkshire, is it? I don't know. There was a revolt near Wales. Oh, I forgot the place, but there was a revolt near Wales. But luckily, now also, the council, the president of Wales, is the Duke of Bedford. Jasper Tudor. I keep forgetting about Jasper Tudor, but it was the Duke of Bedford. Yeah, so there was a Cornish uprising, because Cornwall is near Wales. And then Prince Arthur was sent to Wales. Okay, borough representation. This one's a bit simple, because there were, during Henry VII, there were 296 MPs. Okay, guys, if you ask what I just use this. And I don't think you guys want to know my hair routine, because my hair is not something you should be wanting to achieve. There's my curly hair. I just put it in my hair. So there were 296 MPs, Justice of the Peace. So they were in charge of seeing corruption, and if somebody's trying to retain an army, and they're allowed to act upon information before a jury is summoned. Yep. Oh yeah, sorry. And an example of a JP is Thomas Lovell. And yes, he was the JP of Yorkshire? I don't know. And Sussex? Yorkshire and Sussex. You can see the shock in my face when I get something right. Okay. Taxation. So we had the 10 and the 15th system right now. And, well, the yield was about 29.5 thousand. However, it was highly, old. It was based on data from 150 years ago. So it was not the most accurate. And, oh yeah, and a tax was summoned in 1487, 1497, 1489 and 90 and 91 to 92. And in 97, it was 2/10 and 2/15. So getting a bit greedy. And they also tried out the direct assessment, which is quite similar to what we would then find out as the subsidy. But the direct assessment, it had a yield of 80,000, so clear improvement from the 10th, 15th, 10th and 15th. Okay, yay. Next, there was the Vagabond and Beggars Act. When, I want to say 89, I think, or 95. It's 89 or 95, one or the other. And yes, and let's check. 95. Next factory note. So I keep getting sneak peek, and it's annoying. But there's this guy, Sir Reginald Bray. He had land in the Duchy of Lancaster, 18 estates, 18 counties, and that's good for him. There was also this other guy. Oh, yes, Thomas Howard. So here's the law of Thomas Howard. He actually, so right now we're talking about Henry VII, right? Henry VII, he fought against Richard III. So Thomas Howard, he was fighting for Richard III. Therefore, he was fighting against Henry VII. However, Thomas Howard proved himself to be loyal, so Henry VII actually compensated him with his title, one of them being the lieutenant in the North. Crazy, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, Chancellor, Sir Reginald Bray, Chancellor of Duchy of Lancaster. Progresses, so Henry VII were very big and lavish progresses, went to the Midlands and the North, and also sent an army in 87 and 97, so there were no revolts, yes. I'm going to put maybe a piece of clothing on. Yeah, I'll be back. Okay, no longer naked. Much to you guys' disappointment, but let's not dwell on that. As I was saying, on to Henry VIII. So, the North. It was controlled, the president of the North was Henry Fitzroy. Yes, Henry Fitzroy, and he was then replaced by Robert Holgate. Yes. Alright, so there were a bit of changes in the North. One being 5 new counties. Oh yeah, and like the traditional nobility family, like the Percys, the Nevilles, and the other one, had less power, as well as the headquarters of the council was in York. 1, 2, Wales. So Wales was remodeled, reformed from the Act of Wales 1935. In 1935, there were a few changes. One, English government was introduced. Counties, a total of 10 counties, JPs, all that good stuff. Welsh, no longer spoken. And the law system in Wales, gone. 2 MPs were given to each county. Life's perfect. So, yes, there was actually an attempt for Ed Stafford to retain an army of 400 men. He got executed. Franken. Yes, Mary, Henry's daughter, was sent to Wales, but she came back soon after, so it wasn't really an effective redo of the Arthur situation. The 1942 Act in Wales, what did that do? I'll tell you. Essentially, the 1942 Act in Wales, that implemented English law. 1, 2, it changed the Council of the Marches to the Council of Wales. Our representation. So, that was now 302 MPs. There are by-elections for each MP, and often people have control over which MP is placed. For example, Duke of Norfolk had a bit of control in Castle Riding and Great Yarmouth. Also, the Reformation Parliament meant that now to be an MP was £70 for each town. Yay! And there were half the MPs were nobility, the other half were actual townspeople, so it's just a proportion there. Also, the dissolution of the monasteries meant that there were less people in the House of Lords because abbots didn't have that job role anymore, and there was therefore an increase in those in the House of Commons because there are more MPs from more councils. Next, there were new councils in the Duchy of Lancaster, including Liverpool and Therford. Liverpool was 1545. Justice of the Peace. Well, Justice of the Peace, Wolsey cracked down on corruption with Justice of the Peace. He gave a questionnaire to the MP, the Justice of the Peace, on the law and order of their local constituency, whereas Cromwell, Justice of the Peace, to implement the Reformation. Would you guess? Hampton Court, which is a beloved place. Hampton Court. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but whatever. I'm in the mood, and I'm acing this. So I'm carrying talking like this. So if you're annoyed, you can click off. Okay. So, should I talk like Beating King? So, okay, let's do this. Hampton Court cost £100,000, which was a bit of a lot. Okay, no, I can't do this. I'm going to put myself out. And the spending from 1509 to 1520 on the war was a total of £1 million per year, whilst the royal income from ordinary revenue was actually 25,000 per year. So we have an upsy-daisy there, don't we? Okay, next. We had a bit of a subsidy in 1513, which got about 322,000 from 1513 to 1523. Also, the 10th and the 15th, unlike the subsidy, only got 118,000, 1512 to 1517, so it's like a bit less. Oh yeah, and the subsidy was called multiple times, including during peacetime, and that was very unpopular. Polo. So there was the Vagabond Act, which meant that beggars were to be whipped, and vagabonds were to be vagrants were to be whipped, and impotent or potent poor were to have a license to beg by a JP. This was in 1531. There was poor harvests, a lot of it. Next, patronage. So we have William. What's William's name? William not Brandon. I think it's William Brandpond. William Compond. William Compond. He was the groom stool, the stool of the groom. Compond. I got it. Groom of the stool. He had a lot of estates and was making an income of like 10k from those. Yes. Oh, spoilers. Charles Brandon, Duke of Suffolk, he gave his estate in East Anglia, and then he received some estate in Lincolnshire. So you win some, you lose some. Next, obviously Wolsey and Cromwell, obviously. And then we also have William Pagans, who has legal expertise, and he was given the Baron Pagand. I'm trying to remember any other before I keep on searching. I don't remember anything else. Right, so because of the dissolution of the monasteries, nobility land share increased from 8 to 9%, and royal land share increased from 9 to 27%, so big time. There were also factions, so we had the reformers. The OGs were Cromwell and Richard, but when they were gone, we saw Edward Seymour, yes, and then the conservative was always Duke of Norfolk. Henry wanted a regency council for when Edward came into reign, but Edward Seymour didn't let that slide. He did his manipulative ways to change his will and make him the Lord Protector, also called the Duke of Somerset, but we're going to get that to later. Yes, okay, so progressive Henry went to a law and he had a vote count of like 1,000, an entourage of 1,000. Okay, finish with that. Edward, that kid Martin, that kid's Edward. In the north, it was led by this guy, Earl of Shrewsbury. When I was in the bath and I was like trying to remember, I said the Earl of Streatham. The Earl of Streatham. I knew I had to take a step back, and I didn't. I carried on. He was a Catholic sympathizer. Borough representation, 34 new boroughs created. Oh yeah, and also, there was this one borough in York, and they cared about the people because they talked about the woodlands. Chunky. There was also one other thing I was supposed to say, but I forgot. New borough created in the Duchy of Cornwall called Camelford, and I forgot Crampond. Camelford and Crampond. What's the flip of these names? Grampond, not Crampond. Yes. Yeoman and literacy. Well, the people who went to Oxford increased from 1.15k to 2k. That was from 1550 to 1603. Also, the illiteracy rate fell 1500s or 1550. It was 80% for men and 98% for women, and that fell to 72% for men and 92% for women in 1600s. Correct. Oh yeah, there was troubles by yeomen in 1490, 1549. Ket, essentially ket taxations. So, I'm actually going to. Okay, guys, my hair is not doing good. It's not drying the way I want it to dry. Sorry for a clip. So let me skip to like the Poor Act because that's easy to remember. Oh no, I remember something else, but it's okay. I will just say it later. The Poor Act, including the Severe Vagrancy Act in 1547, meant that vagrants were treated like slaves for 2 years, but it was so severe it got repealed in 1550. Also, there was like a lot of poor harvest and people were high key struggling. So we had the sheep tax in 1549, which supported people who weren't doing sheep because that was like he supported the economy one way or another. And for 1548 to 1549, we had price and wage freezes, and in 1548 we had the regulation of the wool industry in Worcestershire and East Anglia. Justice of the Peace, Worcester Justice of the Peace. In 49, they were looking at who stole religious stuff and persecuted them. There's a special word for it. I forgot it. Inventories. And in 1554, no, 1550, they were the only people who can give license to sell in alehouses. Yes, 1552. And lastly, they put in the second prayer book. Stop. Enforced it. Patronage as Seymour, Duke of Somerset, and Lord Protector. Also, John Dudley, Earl of Warwick. You can see him also in Kent. Lastly, progressives, he didn't go on much. He just went to Southampton, where the Navy was. Portsmouth. I don't know where I got Southampton from. He went to Portsmouth. Did not go to the north. Lastly, we do Mary. Out first, woman monarch. So the north, easy pimple. Same guy, out of Shrewsbury, Catholic sympathizer. Where, nothing to say about Wales. Bar representation, we increased 25 new. 25? I don't know. 23? 25, I think. New. Yes, 25 new positions in the MPs. I love revising. Revising is so fun. I'm having a blast. The time of my life. Thanks. Taxation. Well, she actually repealed the subsidy. I'll tell you when. And that was really popular, but it actually made her government weak. And also, she was in 60,000 in debt because supporting France in the war with Spain. And she lost Calais. Got a bus, but full scale. Oh, not 60,000. 300,000. Gosh, I don't know where I got 60 from. Oh, 1554 stopped corn exports, and 1559 regulated the wool industry. Again, Worcestershire and East Anglia. Or after 1552. Potent poors needed to register in parishes, and also those who were reluctant to give to almshouses were encouraged heavily. Yes. She accompanied her father in progress. She didn't go to many progresses. Oh. That's it. Gang. Yeah. I'm gonna edit this to post it ASAP.